Hello there, I'm Dr. Richard Caldwell, and I've been practicing dermatology here in Portland, Oregon for 43 years. Today I'm sitting in my home office, looking out at the rain-soaked streets, and I realize something. I've been keeping secrets from you. Not intentionally, mind you, but I've been so focused on prescribing expensive treatments and recommending high-end products that I've forgotten to share the simple truths I've learned over 4 decades of treating skin. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Some of my patients with the most beautiful, healthy skin aren't the ones spending thousands on procedures. They're the ones who've mastered 5 simple habits that cost practically nothing. And today, at 72 years old, I'm going to share every single one of them with you. You know, when I first started practicing in 1982, the skincare industry was completely different. We didn't have 50-step routines or serums that cost more than most people's grocery budget. We had soap, water, and common sense. And you know what? People's skin was often healthier. Not because the products were better, but because they understood something we've forgotten in our quest for the fountain of youth. Before I dive into these secrets, I want you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm sharing 40 years of real-world experience here, not marketing fluff from beauty companies. Hit that notification bell too, because I'm going to be sharing more of these honest conversations in the coming weeks. Now, let me tell you about my patient Sarah. She's 68 years old and has skin that would make a 30-year-old jealous. When she first came to see me 15 years ago, she was spending over $300 a month on skincare products and was frustrated because her skin was getting worse, not better. Today, she spends about $20 a month and looks incredible. How? She follows the 5 secrets I'm about to share with you. Secret number 1, the ice water reset. This is going to sound almost too simple, but bear with me. Every morning, Sarah fills her bathroom sink with ice water. Not cold water from the tap, but actual ice water at exactly 34 to 36 degrees Fahrenheit. She dunks her face in this water for exactly 30 seconds, 3 times, with 10-second breaks between each dunk. Now, you might think this sounds like some internet trend, but there's real science behind this. When you expose your skin to ice-cold water, several things happen at the cellular level. First, the cold causes immediate vasoconstriction, which means your blood vessels tighten up. This reduces inflammation and puffiness instantly. But here's the interesting part. When you remove your face from the cold water, your blood vessels dilate rapidly, creating what we call reactive hyperemia. This floods your skin with fresh, oxygenated blood. I've been watching Sarah do this for 15 years, and I can tell you that her morning puffiness disappeared within 2 weeks of starting this routine. But more importantly, over time, this daily vascular exercise has improved her skin's overall circulation. Better circulation means better nutrient delivery to skin cells and more efficient waste removal. My patient James, who's 74, started doing this after watching Sarah's results. He was skeptical, being a retired engineer who wanted to see the data. But after 6 months, even his wife noticed the difference. His skin had more color, fewer broken capillaries, and that gray, tired look he'd developed in his late 60s was completely gone. The key is consistency and temperature. Room temperature water won't work. You need that shock to the system. And please, don't stay in longer thinking more is better. 30 seconds is the sweet spot. Any longer and you risk damaging the delicate skin around your eyes. Secret number 2, the grandmother's oil method. This second secret came from my own grandmother, though I didn't appreciate its genius until I'd been practicing for 20 years. She used to take ordinary olive oil, the kind you cook with, and mix it with coarse sea salt to create a facial scrub. But here's the part that makes it brilliant. She would warm the oil to exactly body temperature, 98.6 degrees, before mixing in the salt. Why does this work so much better than expensive exfoliating products? First, olive oil contains squalene, the same compound that our skin naturally produces but makes less of as we age. When you apply warm olive oil to your skin, it penetrates much deeper than when it's cold. The warmth opens your pores slightly and makes the oil more fluid, allowing it to really sink in. The sea salt provides physical exfoliation, but because it's mixed with oil, it's much gentler than dry salt would be. You're removing dead skin cells without creating micro tears that can lead to irritation and premature aging. My patient Maria, who's 65, had been struggling with rough, patchy skin texture for years. She'd tried chemical peels, microdermabrasion, even laser treatments. Nothing worked long term. I suggested she try my grandmother's method twice a week. She takes 2 tablespoons of olive oil, warms it in a small bowl placed in warm water until it reaches body temperature, then mixes in 1 tablespoon of fine sea salt. She applies this mixture in gentle circular motions for exactly 2 minutes, focusing on areas where her skin feels rough. Then she rinses with lukewarm water and follows with a simple moisturizer. Maria's been doing this for 3 years now, and her skin texture is smoother than it was in her 40s. The timing is crucial here. 2 minutes of gentle massage is enough to remove dead skin and stimulate circulation without overdoing it. And please, use fine sea salt, not table salt. Table salt is too harsh and can cause irritation. If you're finding these tips helpful, make sure you're subscribed because I'm sharing decades of observations that you won't find in any textbook. These are real-world solutions that work for real people. Secret number 3. The 48-hour rule. This third secret challenges everything the beauty industry wants you to believe about daily skincare routines. Are you ready for this? You don't need to wash your face every single day. In fact, for many people over 50, washing less frequently leads to healthier skin. I discovered this completely by accident. About 10 years ago, I had a patient named Robert, who's now 71. He came to me with severe dry skin and irritation. He'd been following a typical routine: morning cleanser, evening cleanser, multiple products throughout the day. His skin was a mess. During our consultation, I learned that Robert spent 3 days a week at his cabin in the mountains with no running water. On those days, he couldn't do his regular routine. When I examined his skin, I noticed it looked significantly better on the Monday after his weekend trips. This got me thinking. I suggested he try what I now call the 48-hour rule. Instead of cleansing twice daily, he would only wash his face every other day with plain lukewarm water and a tiny amount of gentle soap. On the off days, he would simply rinse with cool water. The science behind this is straightforward but revolutionary. Your skin has a natural acid mantle, a protective barrier made up of sebum and sweat that sits at a pH of about 5.5. When you wash your face daily with cleanser, you're constantly stripping away this protective layer. It takes approximately 48 hours for your skin to fully restore this barrier. By washing every other day instead of daily, you're giving your skin time to rebuild its natural defenses. This is especially important as we age because our skin produces less oil naturally, making that protective barrier even more crucial. Robert's skin transformation was remarkable. Within 6 weeks, his dryness and irritation were completely gone. His skin looked healthier and more radiant than it had in years. He's been following this routine for a decade now, and at 71, people constantly ask him about his skincare secrets. My patient Linda, who's 59, was horrified when I first suggested this. She'd been washing her face twice daily for 40 years, but she was dealing with persistent redness and sensitivity that nothing seemed to help. After 2 months of the 48-hour rule, her skin was calmer and more balanced than it had been since her 30s. Now I need to be clear about something. This doesn't mean you can't splash your face with water daily. On your non-washing days, you should still rinse with cool water to remove any surface debris. The key is avoiding soap and cleansers every single day. Secret number 4. The pillow protocol. This fourth secret might seem unrelated to skincare, but it's had some of the most dramatic impacts I've seen in my practice. It's all about your pillowcase. But not in the way you might think. Most people know that silk pillowcases can be gentler on skin and hair, but what they don't know is the temperature protocol that makes all the difference. I learned this from my patient Dorothy, who's now 83 and has some of the best skin I've seen on anyone her age. Dorothy discovered by accident that sleeping with a cold pillowcase dramatically improved her skin. She lives in an old house where her bedroom gets quite cold in winter. She started putting her silk pillowcase in the refrigerator for 30 minutes before bed, so it would feel comfortable against her skin in the cold room. After a few months, she noticed her morning puffiness was gone and her skin looked more toned and firm. When she told me about this, I was intrigued enough to research the science behind it. Here's what happens. When you sleep with a cold pillowcase, your facial skin temperature drops by several degrees throughout the night. This prolonged mild cold exposure stimulates collagen production and improves lymphatic drainage. It's like giving yourself a gentle 8-hour facial treatment every night. The protocol is simple but specific. Take your pillowcase and put it in the refrigerator, not the freezer, for exactly 30 minutes before bed. You want it cold, but not frozen. The ideal temperature is between 45 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit. This provides enough cooling to be beneficial without being so cold that it disrupts your sleep. I started recommending this to patients who were concerned about aging skin, but didn't want invasive procedures. The results have been consistently impressive. My patient Frank, who's 67, has been doing this for 2 years. His wife says he looks 5 years younger, and I have to agree. The improvement in his facial tone and the reduction in morning puffiness has been remarkable. If you're enjoying these unconventional tips, please hit that like button. It helps me reach more people who could benefit from these simple but powerful techniques. Secret number 5. The reverse routine. This final secret is the most counterintuitive of all, and it challenges the fundamental assumption of the entire skincare industry. Instead of applying products from thinnest to thickest consistency, I've found that doing the exact opposite often produces better results, especially for mature skin. Traditional skincare wisdom says to apply serum first, then moisturizer, then face oil if you use one. But I've observed that many of my patients over 60 get better results by applying face oil first, then moisturizer, then any water-based treatments. The science behind this reverse routine is fascinating. As we age, our skin barrier becomes less efficient at retaining moisture. When you apply oil first, you're creating a base layer that helps everything else penetrate more effectively while also preventing water loss. Think of it like painting a house. You wouldn't put the top coat on bare wood. You'd prime it first. The oil acts as a primer for your other products, helping them work more effectively. My patient Helen, who's 75, struggled with dry, flaky skin despite using expensive serums and moisturizers. Nothing seemed to make a lasting difference. I suggested she try the reverse routine. First, she applies 3 drops of simple jojoba oil to slightly damp skin. Then she applies her moisturizer while the oil is still fresh. Finally, if she's using any serums, she applies them last. The transformation was remarkable. Within 2 weeks, her skin was softer and more supple than it had been in years. The flaking stopped completely, and her makeup started going on smoothly again. The key is timing and quantity. You want to apply the oil to slightly damp skin, not bone-dry skin. This helps the oil spread evenly and penetrate better. Use only 3 to 4 drops of oil, no more. Too much oil will create a barrier that prevents your other products from working. Wait exactly 2 minutes after applying the oil before adding your moisturizer. This gives the oil time to start penetrating without fully absorbing. Then apply your moisturizer in gentle upward strokes. The combination creates a moisture sandwich that keeps your skin hydrated all day. My patient George, who's 69, was skeptical about using face oil because he thought it would make his skin greasy. But after trying the reverse routine for a month, he became a convert. His skin looked more youthful and felt more comfortable than it had in years. Now I want to share something important with you. After 43 years of practice, I've learned that consistency matters more than perfection. You don't need to follow all 5 of these secrets perfectly to see results. Pick 1 or 2 that resonate with you and commit to doing them consistently for at least 6 weeks. Sarah, the patient I mentioned at the beginning, didn't start all 5 secrets at once. She began with just the ice water routine and added the others gradually over several months. The key is building sustainable habits that you can maintain long term. I also want to address something I hear from patients all the time: the fear that simple solutions can't possibly work as well as expensive treatments. This mindset is understandable given how we're constantly marketed to, but it's simply not true. Some of the most effective skincare approaches are also the simplest. Remember, your skin is an organ, not a canvas. It responds to consistency, gentleness, and respect for its natural processes. These 5 secrets work because they support your skin's natural functions, rather than trying to override them. If you've found value in these secrets, I encourage you to subscribe and share this video with anyone who might benefit. Real skincare wisdom shouldn't be kept secret, and it shouldn't cost a fortune. Sometimes the best solutions are hiding in plain sight, passed down through generations of people who understood that healthy skin comes from healthy habits, not expensive products. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Here's to discovering that beautiful skin doesn't have to be complicated or costly. It just needs to be consistent and kind.